Hey guys, it's Parallax Abstraction, and welcome back to Retro Flashback Plays Super Castlevania 4. So, yeah, back in the Calcium Cave, because jump button decided not to jump. You know how it goes. Old school platformers, you're gonna see a lot of repetition. That's just how it goes. And yeah, I mean, we talked about before how the checkpointing in this game can be a little bit punishing sometimes. And, well, you get the idea of how that works now. Yep. Oh, well, such is how things go. But, yeah, unfortunately, one of the things that's kind of a pain about... You know what? I don't know if it's a Virtual Console thing or just a how Nintendo designs controllers things or what, but I had this problem on the original Wii Virtual Console as well. It feels like the controller response is like half a beat behind the action in these Virtual Console games sometimes. Like it feels like what was happening there with those deaths. Like I am damn positive I was pressing the jump button at the right time, and yet Simon was jumping a little bit too late and wasn't getting into the wasn't jumping off the spot at the time he needed to. And it always felt like there was a bit of a controller lag or some kind of weird response problem especially on the original Wii, and I always just assumed it was the Wiimotes just didn't have the response in them. But like I said, I'm playing with a Wii U Pro controller and getting the same kind of problem here, which is going to make things interesting. I might try, if that seems to persist later on into the game, I might actually try switching to the gamepad and see if it's any better that way. I don't know why it would be. Like, the gamepad and the Pro controller are, they're just Bluetooth, so they should... I knew those were there. So it shouldn't really matter, but I don't know. It's a weird problem. I am also sitting a bit of a ways from the Wii U. The Wii U is actually under my TV, and I'm using a 50-foot HDMI cable to connect it to my capture gear because I was basically too lazy to disconnect it and bring it to my desk. So the fact that I'm sitting as far away as I am might be an issue too, but yeah. Well, we'll get through. We'll get through this. I'm not too worried. It's all about timing with these games, and even if there is a controller lag, you can sort of adjust your mental programming to get used to it. So in a way, that's kind of its own little challenge. I mean, don't get me wrong, I wish it was accurate, but nonetheless, I can still adjust with time. And at least I got a good stack of lives here, and before too long I'm going to get a spare one too. So if I carry myself well through this, we'll do pretty well. So yeah, the nice thing is a lot of the enemies, not all of the enemies, but a lot of the enemies with projectiles, you can actually shoot their projectiles out of the air, like those double sort of little bullet guys, these guys up here. You can actually shoot their projectiles before they get to you. You just have to time it right. For some reason, that was something that used to infuriate me when I was watching Vinny play through Castlevania, especially Castlevania 3, is he was really, really bad at timing those. Even though the timing for them is always the same, he would always miss them. And he got himself killed more than a few times because of that. I'm not sure why that was. It's a weird thing. I guess maybe just... I mean, some people do have worse timing than others, and as you get older, your response time with precision platformers like this definitely goes down. So that's why you got to keep playing these. You got to keep yourself sharp. I'm not even going to bother going over there this time, because that kind of boned me last time. Oh, that jump is always... it always looks pixel perfect, but it's just the way the game sort of engineers it, but... oh... Every time you look at it, you're just like, oh god, I just made that. 3, 4. Still want to know who's throwing those. So you're kind of a dick. My big problem with these games, too, and I'm going to have to learn this, especially later on, is I tend not to use the special weapons nearly as much as I should. Like, technically, I could use it here and extra hits on that guy. I don't know why. It's not like I'm not in this game. In some games I do have that because I might need it later mentality, where you don't want to waste your hearts and you want to save them for the boss. That's not really what I'm doing here. It's just, give me that chicken. I don't know why. I always forget to use them, which is really not a good idea because these things are your best friggin' friend. As you can see there, that swinging axe would actually probably be the better thing to have when dealing with these guys. Wow, I almost completely screwed up that jump. Because the knife, obviously, against these twits is just utterly useless in pretty much every measurable sense. That almost went real bad. Okay. You're not getting me this time. Where's that thing? Ah, yes. Screw you, bullet face. I don't know what they're called, but... Aha! That time it worked out. Alright. Now you, I may lose that bag of money, but... I murdered you when you couldn't defend yourself. Belmont don't care. Simon Belmont do what he gotta do. You are in my path, and therefore... Wow, I'm almost at 100 hearts. That's crazy. You cannot go over 100 hearts in this game. So when you, if you hit 100 hearts, it just well, if you hit 99 hearts, it just stays at 99. You don't get anything extra for running over, which I always thought was kind of crap. I thought it would be a neat way to encourage score attack or something like that. Would be like, hey, you know, we'll give. Whoops. Learn how buttons work, Parallax. I always thought it would be cool, you frackin' birds. Ugh. I always thought it would be cool to give a little incentive, like, hey, if you hit maximum hearts and don't use them all, we'll convert them into points or something. Like, you'll get an extra 100 points or something for each heart that you go over. That would be kind of neat. God, that sucks. I had so many hearts there. Those crumbling blocks are mean, too, because, well, as you saw before, you can literally screw yourself. If you do it wrong... There's my life back. If you do it wrong, you can literally, like, get to a point where you can't pass, which is just not cool. You gonna give me a weapon of some kind? Having a weapon to beat this dude with from the back would be nice, but I guess I can just do this. Unfortunately, I could have used all those, but what are you gonna do? I also need to learn to utilize this more often. Like, that's how I could have taken out those birds before they even got to me before. I'm not gonna risk screwing that jump up because I don't actually need any health right now. Yeah, I am unfortunately really not doing well on hearts, and I think the boss is here. And it didn't even give me a special weapon. And that sucks, because this boss is actually, really nasty if you don't have a special weapon. Because they come in off the side here, and they don't come out much further than that. So, unless you wanna... Yeah. Unless you want to try to get diagonal shots, which is always fun with a Super Nintendo digital control. The best thing here actually is that boomerang thing, because it just... the boomerang thing will just cut right through these guys. Okay, one down. I was so close. I was right friggin' there. The real Castlevania starts here, my friends. Oh Oh my, yes. It is... And you see, this is what happens, right? Because you get you get frazzled. Like you have one of those close failures, and then in your later lives, you're kind of stressed and you're twitchy, and you make mistakes, and you do stupid crap like what I did. Yeah, that's one of the reasons why I will probably not do long recording sessions with this game, because I also think one of Vinny's biggest problems on Giant Bomb is that their sessions were always, because they always live streamed them, their sessions were like 2.5 hours long, and by the end, like, Vinny's just completely, like, he's just rattled and like ready to give up, basically, and I don't want to end up in that position. Damn it, birds. Come at me. Yeah, there we go. But again, like, the game has not handed me a special weapon. Like, unless the place I get it is on those that broken block puzzle, like the one where I've been skipping because I don't want to deal with potentially screwing it up again. Like, it's not giving me it's not giving me any special weapon, which is a real bummer when dealing with these guys. Screw you, screw you. Oh, come! Yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna have to try, I think, and see if I can get... I'm gonna have to try, I think, and see if I can get... Got you at the air, fool. I'm gonna have to try, I think, and see if I can get a, Nope. Well, I got one of two of them, and it still didn't give me a special weapon. I don't know why it's not doing that. Like, that's the worst. Oh, I can actually get him. I don't have to actually hit his head. Well, thanks for all the hearts that I can't bloody use, because you're not giving me a weapon what to use them with. Thinking maybe there was some wall weapons up in here, but don't look like it. I'm just gonna have to be smart with how I manage those dragons and just whip it good. When a problem comes along, you must whip it. Whip it good. Roll forward. Move ahead. Just whip it. Whip it good. Oh-ho! Your buddy's head got in the way, but... Alright. 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 What? What? Come at me! Boosh! Struck a pose. Suckers ain't nothing by the 5th try. Shut up. Alright. On to number 4. We're just cranking through this, right? Another hour or so will be all the way through this, right? 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 Guys? Guys? What the... Well, that sucked. You know, I also just noticed for the first time that that skull follows you. Well, that's really creepy. Yo, man. You wouldn't believe the shit I've seen. I have seen things, brother. You can't even imagine. You gotta get the hell out of here, man. You don't wanna experience what I've seen. You don't know, man. You weren't there. Still hasn't handed me a fracking weapon. Alright. Oh-ho! I actually forgot you were there, wall lady, but I got you first. Well, that's just mean. Yo. Now, these are probably the falling platforms, right? Yep. Yep. And I once again am having the problem with the button not responding. Yeah, I might actually have to switch over to the gamepad in the future and see if it works a little better. Or maybe just stop being such a lazy idiot and actually put my Wii U on my desk. Yep, it's just not responding properly. Oh well, we're not far in anyway. Problem is, I don't really want to... I have to keep lugging the Wii U back and forth because my girlfriend and I are playing Yoshi's Woolly World right now on the TV, and I don't want to lug the thing back and forth. Yes, I know I am whining to the nth first world degree. Deal with it. See, all I need is to finally get a job and get one that pays a ridiculous amount of money, and I'll just... Whoa, that shouldn't have survived. Yeah, I just need a job that pays a ton of money, and I'll just buy a second Wii U that'll keep on my desk, and then I won't have any inconveniences ever whatsoever, and everyone will be happy. It definitely feels like I've got a bit of a... just the slightest little delay on this B button. I don't know. Like, I can't imagine... Maybe it is a Virtual Console thing, but Nintendo's hardware is usually super solid. Like, I can't imagine that they would design either this controller or give the Virtual Console such an innate, like, delay problem in it, too. Like, that... The Virtual Console's been around for a long time. I can't imagine... I especially can't imagine that that's something that would have passed on to the Wii U from the original Wii. Like, Nintendo, their pricing may be completely out to lunch, but I've praised Nintendo before for the quality of the Virtual Console in terms of, like, how well it emulates and everything else. And it's very true. Stop judging me, wall skulls. I see you looking at me. Yeah, there's something weird there. That's too bad. Or maybe it's just the way the Pro Controller works with Virtual Console games. Maybe the gamepad wouldn't have this problem. Very odd. See, like there. I know I'm hitting it right. And it's going to jump right over you. Anything here? No. There's probably something on that other side, though. Don't eat it. Sorry, I don't like to waste food, but... not taking a risk with these spinny platforms. I don't know how prevalent these are later in the game. I actually forgot they were in this level. Mid-boss. I don't remember who this is. Oh, right, this guy. You can actually just outwit this guy. There we go. Now, the problem is, though, if I will always... I'm checkpointed past here now. Past him, but if I have to continue, I think I may lose that. Oh, right! This part. Yeah, this is where the whole level, except for the wall hook, moves. I completely forgot about this. And then we get the damn Medusa heads. Right. Yeah. This is one of the rare sections where you actually do have to deal with your short leather whip for a while. The leather whip does do less damage than the chain whip, so that is something that you have to be cognizant of. Now, what I don't remember is, am I actually supposed to jump over there, or do I just deal with Medusa heads for a while and then it rotates again? I honestly don't remember. Oh, goodness. And that rotation takes so long, too. I remember back in the day, I used to know this level by muscle memory. I really don't now, though. Nope. Not at all. Yeah, I really honestly don't remember if I just have to deal with a certain number of these and then the level rotates again, or if I'm supposed to jump through there. It looks like these are not stopping. Oh, yeah, no, they are. Okay. Yeah, forced Medusa head sequences, way worse. Hi. Thanks for the floor help. You know, Dracula, if you just wanted to kill me... now here's some Mode 7 for you. This was, at the time, mind-blowing. Like, slow down or not, seeing this graphical effect, like, Mode 7 looks just downright, like, almost quaintly terrible now. But back in the day, this was one of the unique selling points of the Super Nintendo from a visual perspective. This just blew people's friggin' minds. Oh. Where are you gonna put me? Yep, that's right. You fail a stage, you gotta do the whole thing again. Yep. Welcome to Castlevania. Oh, God. Yeah. This is the life I chose. Screw you. Oh, man. But you learn, right? Like, that's the thing with these games. You have a failure like that, you get yourself forced to restart the whole level, and you do it again, and presumably you learn well enough that you don't make the same mistakes the next time. Now, whether or not I can be so fortunate is another question entirely, but we'll see. I mean, hey, Vinny Caravella beat these games that way, if he can do it. But of course, he didn't have that problem. If I don't beat this in this session, if I don't beat this level in this session, I think I am gonna grab the gamepad next time and see what happens. Because, yeah, honestly, I wouldn't have run out of lives if it wasn't for that timing problem. Well, I mean, who's to say for sure, but I am confident I would not have run out of lives with that timing problem. Listen. Listen, you. Like, I swear to God I'm timing that right. It looks like all you have to do, if you want, is just, at least with this controller setup, is just spam the button. If I just, every time I get up there, if I just mash the jump button, well, sometimes. If I just mash the jump button, he will usually get through it. Yeah, if I just really wail on the button, it seems to have a better chance of making the jump than if I actually try to time it properly, which is rather unfortunate, but it's definitely less precise when you have to change directions, though, mid-jump. That's where things get really wonky. Okay. Alright, but I have to do the mid-boss again. And I have to do it with no special weapon. Whew, that was close. I actually don't really know how you deal with him easily if you don't have a special weapon. Oh, this is gonna be rough. So yeah, this is kind of mode 7 as well, actually, this area. But yeah, this was the real thing that blew people away when they saw the Super Nintendo was this. I mean, the way it sort of lowers the resolution of the images and the pixels and stuff, actually, it does make the images look noticeably worse, but the effect was just so cool. And I loved that. Yeah, I loved that at the time, and this game made so much use of it. This was really the game Konami used to show people just what they were capable of with this system. Especially since Konami put a lot of their weight into the Super Nintendo. Like, they did make games for the Sega Genesis, but the Super Nintendo is really where they, like most companies, to be honest, is really where they put most of their efforts. There was lots of third-party stuff on the Genesis, but not nearly as much as there was in-house Sega stuff. There were Castlevania games on the Genesis. Most of them are not as well regarded as the Super Nintendo ones, and this is what can happen here too, is because it just sends out Medusas on the same number regardless of whether or not you've managed to take them out or not. So if you can't get a hold of that pattern, it'll get away from you real quick. In your own time, it's fine. Don't extend the whip out too much. That's all I need, is to friggin' fall on the bloody spikes. Really hope I can end up with a special weapon here. That would be real handy right now. I got 2 lives to beat this entire level, including the end boss, and I don't even remember what the end boss is of this level. Yeah, this level actually is pretty good about handing out, about using the handing out of the whip stuff to your... Wow, that was mean. Yeah, about handing out the whip stuff sort of strategically. It actually isn't all front-loaded within the first 30 seconds of the level like it is in some of the other ones. That's kind of interesting. I never noticed that, but... Oh, this music is so... It's like high beat and pressure, too. You're just like, I don't want to screw this up. Be nice if I could hit 20 grand and get a spare life before I have to fight the boss, but what's the likelihood of that? Okay, does this just come through endlessly? We're starting to get to the points now in this game where my memory is failing me, and I don't actually remember... I don't actually remember a lot of how these levels are designed now. This is where stuff is going to start to get funky. But that was the thing, right? I hadn't played this game in so many years that I really wanted to, you know, I knew that there were things I wouldn't remember, and I really wanted to come into it like that. Oh god, stop with the high-pressure music. You're killing me here. What was that? What the hell is that? I don't like random rocky noises off in the distance that I can't tell the location of. I guess I should be whipping the wall to see if there's any wall chickens about. There's probably cool stuff up here too, but I don't know if I want to be ballsy and try to find this alternative route, you know what I'm saying? Oh god, you have to crawl in there to get that? That's just mean, man. How would you even manage to do that? I guess you'd crawl in and then wait for another block to come around. That would have been smart of me. Yeah, I could really use a special weapon right about now. Because I suspect the boss is at the top of this here thing, and I once again... I am once again in a spot where I can't fight him. Well, I can fight him, but, you know, not the good way. You're giving me hearts galore, and like, yeah, great, but give me a real weapon. Okay, there we go. Listen to that slap bass. Some Geddy Lee up in this piece. Wow, this is a long section, which is going to really suck if I die. But we shouldn't think that way, right? I will say as well that I hope this never happens, but if we do get to a point where boss battles are just taking way too long and I'm spending, like, you know, multiple episodes doing the same fight over and over again, I am not above cheesing using the checkpoint system that the Wii U Virtual Console has. I hope to not do that, but if it gets to a point where it's just becoming kind of ridiculous how much time is going into trying to deal with a certain enemy, I am not above that. You know what did just occur to me, especially since I'm running low on time? I wonder if this is a maze. This has been going for a long time, and I feel like I'm looping around. In fact, I'm sure of it. Now that I look. Yep, I did that. That was all me, boys. All me. Yeah, I am pretty sure, especially since I was running low on time, I am pretty sure that I was looping around there. If you want a good weapon, you probably do have to ride this friggin' pain train all the way up. But I bet I needed to jump through there and get to the to that area off to the right that we saw. Yep, there's the weapon. Yeah, that's the weapon that I picked up the previous time, so no problem. All I gotta do is get through this, get over to the right, and take out the boss in one life. We can, that ain't no thing, right? Nah, ain't no thing. Here it is, right. Oh. Well, okay. So, not in there. Clearly we have to go to the right, but it looks like we have to go up first. The time limit in this game, in Castlevania games, is usually almost never something you have to worry about, but it actually could be in this level, which is kind of surprising. Okay. Is this it? Aha, this looks right. And by right, I mean nightmarish. What are you out of your frackin' skull? Yep, you are. Wow. You are a mean, vindictive video game. There we go. See, Vinny, easy to time that. Oh, good. I got these. 1, 2, 3. 2, 3. Okay, here's the boss. I got full health. First time. What in hell's name? First time, son! Oh, yeah! Boosh! What? You ain't nothing! Nothing! As I get wicked cocky again. Oh, boy. Alright, guys. Well, there we go. So that's a good place to call it an episode, I think. So we are on to stage 5 of 11 next. I'm sure it's just gonna be a breeze right through the rest of this, right? Oh, God. Yeah. Alright, well, thank you guys very much for watching. If you liked what you saw here, please consider liking the video and subscribing to the channel. It does help me out a great deal. And, well, we'll be back at battling Dracula next time. Take it easy, guys.